Drafting with Numot is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com. Explore the game.
Hello friends, Kenji here again. Another video for Gathering Magic. This time, and finally, we now have Fate Reforged online. I'm not going to do any of the triple Fate Reforged drafts because that's not really relevant for any events, but I will absolutely do Fate Reforged cons. So let's join this queue up here, and let's get ready for some fun. Alrighty, here we are for our very first Fate Reforged draft. Let's make these pictures a little bit bigger here. There we go, good enough. Okay, so I've had a little bit of a chance to play with the cards now. I just came back recently from GP San Jose, which was the team sealed event, so congratulations to Paul Xion and LSV and Efro on their win there. I didn't do too well, neither did my team. We went 5-3 after starting 3-0, but learned a lot about the format. Let's see. So I think the card here I'm going to take is the Ugin's Construct. 4 mana, 4/5. When Ugin's Construct enters the battlefield, sacrifice a permanent that's one or more colors. And if you've been keeping track, any morph creature or manifest creature does not have a color. So if you can curve a morph or a manifest into Ugin's Construct, you are already starting out very, very well. I didn't really have time to go over the pack, but I think Ugin's Construct was the best card there anyways, so good pickup. What do we have here now? Alright, Frostwalker's pretty sweet. I like going aggressive in this format. I like being able to play a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and then, just remove their dude and start bashing in. So Frostwalkers, I think, are actually pretty dang good, even though it has the phantasmal ability, or the downside, I guess, where that if it's targeted by a spell or ability, you have to sacrifice it. Humble Defector has some sweet synergies with it. Any of the untap effects, or even with collateral damage, you can tap 2, draw a card, and then throw it at your opponent or a creature to deal 3. Bathe in Dragonfire, very, very solid card. Just 3 mana, deal 4 damage to a creature. It is a sorcery, yes, but it's one of the better red commons, I think. There's a land here, there's a Cunning Strike. There's a Harsh Sustenance. Now this card has been doing some major work for me, and I love black-white warriors. So that's something to keep in mind. There's also a Right into Being and a Whisper of the Wilds here. I think I'm just going to go with the Bathe in Dragonfire. Again, going a little bit low on time since I'm explaining my picks, since this is just the beginning of the format. But doesn't get much better than 4 damage for 3 mana, even though it's sorcery. Okay, and this pack looks like we have a Noxious Dragon, 6 mana, 4/4 flyer. This is one of the dragon cycles. It's one of the better ones too. When it dies, you may destroy a target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. So any more for just a regular creature that costs 3 or less. And the nice thing is it's a May, so if you're the only one with a creature that costs that little, you don't have to kill your own dude. Wandering Champion's pretty decent, like with the Pine Walker, just cheap aggro card, and if you happen to have a red or blue permanent, you get to reverse loot. Sky Captain's fine. There's another Harsh Sustenance here. Hunt the Weak is decent. Warflare is okay. Windscarred Crag. I think here I'm going to go ahead and take the Dragon. I think it's the most powerful card, and because there's not really a red card there that impresses me. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, it looks like we have... So I've been seeing a lot of the same print runs in this format. Now I know this is a small set, which makes that a little bit more likely, but if you remember in the pack where we took the Bathe in Dragonfire, there was also collateral damage, Cunning Strike, and yada yada yada. Anyways, what do we have here? I think we're probably just going to end up taking another Bathe in Dragonfire. Again, it's just a pretty solid removal spell. I do like the Karsi High Priest. It's pretty sweet. It's cheap. It's kind of like Stitcher's Apprentice in Innistrad block. But I think this is actually a pretty nice card in this format. Again, another Right into Being here. Love this card. Cunning Strike. Yeah, gonna go ahead and just take another Bathe in Dragonfire. See where this leads us to. Alright. Well, I think the best card here is probably the Sunstep Outcast. I love this card. For 3 mana, you get a 2/1 and a 1/1 flyer. That's already well above the curve in this format. Like, generally, you know, you trade this with just a random morph, which is already value, because then you have the 1/1 flyer to back it up. Sultai Emissary, I think, is one of the best black commons in this format, or in this set, but I think Sandstep Outcast just is quite a bit better. Now, Shadow Harm does some work, but I think it's a little bit too slow for my liking. That's not to say that the ability is very powerful, though. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Outcast, see where this leads. I could have taken the Emissary there, but I want to stay a little bit open. Geez, looks like that's the third Harsh Sustenance here. That's pretty scary. I don't think Hero's Blade's that good. The equip is very expensive. I have tried it out once before and it was fine, but again, the equip is just so expensive. Not a huge fan of Cleric. You can have better 2-drops. No good red cards. I might just take the Harsh Sustenance at this point, especially after taking Sandstep Outcast. These go very well together. And I think it's the most powerful card in the pack anyways. Another one now, huh? So there's a Humble Defector. I'm not sure why this Jeskai Infiltrator is going this late. Interesting. This draft is very weird to me. I mean, there's even a Soul Summons here, which I think is a very good card. This is really weird. Infiltrator's good, Defector's good, Sustenance, Soul Summons. There's another Warflare too. I really want to just take the Soul Summons, but like, these are so powerful. Oh well, let's take the 2-drop. See where this leads us to. And punished immediately. Man, I should have just taken the blue card for sure, because Lotus Path Djinn is very, very good. I guess I should have just stayed open. Well, I'm going to take the Lotus Path Djinn here. It looks like that we might be ending up in Jeskai, which is fine. Yeah, this is not even close. This is a first pickable card, in my opinion. 2/3 flyer for 4. That's already, you know, above curve for this format. And then has prowess. Seems good to me. Pretty mediocre pack. I think the Refocus is probably okay. It's especially good with the Lotus Path Djinn. Surprise 3/4 blocker. Draws you a card. I also like Absent Advantage. I think this card's good. You can main deck it as just a bolster 1 for 2 mana, and then if you do get an enchantment, well, then you're just getting supreme value. In fact, I'm going to take the advantage here. I think it has a slightly higher advantage than the Refocus. Alright, I'm sorry, I'll shut up. Abzan Runemark is another one I don't mind, but I think there's pretty easily just taking the Cunning Strike here. If we are indeed going to go into Jeskai, Cunning Strike's fine. It's expensive, but 4 damage, draw a card. It's not the worst. Alright, here's a Runemark that I do enjoy. The Jeskai Runemark is quite solid, just because flying is pretty premium. So enchanted creature gets +2/+2, and that creature is flying as long as you control red or white permanents. I do have a lot of red and white permanents. Fierce Invocation is also okay, and it's probably a better pick, but I'm just saying that I like the Runemark. Pretty junky. Just take a sideboard to find Ogre, I suppose. Smoldering Efreet's completely playable. Now, if you've been watching my stream the last day or two, you know we've been going off with Aven Skirmishers, even though I do not think that card is good at all. Oh, pretty happy to get that Runemark. Might end up running that. We didn't get any fixing in the first pack, and I was a little bit loose in not staying open with that Jeskai Infiltrator pick. But I think that starts pretty solid. Again, we're just missing fixing. So we're going to look up to pick up the lands here in this next pack, along with, you know, just more good creatures and spells. Empty the Pits is not exactly what I wanted to see. It is a mythic, though, so going towards the right track on opening mythics. I think the only 2 choices here are going to be the Windscout and the Crippling Chill, and then secondary we have, like, Mentor, War Shrieker, Rush of Battle. I think the Windscout's very, very nice. Doesn't get better than 3 mana, 2 power flyer, and in Jeskai you're usually going to have enough prowess spells to make it quite a legitimate beater. So this Ugin's Construct that I first picked is looking a lot more awkward in this deck. Jeskai generally curves out with cheap colored creatures. And right now we have quite a few colored creatures in the 2 and 3 slot. Or not even just creatures, just permanents really. But, oh well. Let the student move on. Alright, good pack. Abzan Charm's very good. Bellowing Saddle Brute's very good. Aerostorm's pretty nice. Swiftwater Cliffs is good. You know, I mean, I guess I take the Swiftwater Cliffs here over the Aerostorm because we need the fixing, but I'm not seeing much white. We might end up like cutting the white. We could potentially move into Teamer. If we open something nice and green or get past some nice green cards. But right now, our red and blue is the only thing worth playing. White, again, is okay, but not amazing. So we'll take the safe pick with the Cliffs, I suppose. See where we go. Whoa, that is a murderous cut. What pick is this? This is pick 3? That's pretty interesting. And a Raider Spoils. Yeah, if I had just taken all those Harsh Sustenance at the beginning of the draft, I think I'd have a pretty sick black-white deck here. Cards that I could take: Leaping Master, War Shrieker, Wetland Sandbar. Those are the on-color cards, obviously. Taking a white card, Rush of Battle Sage, I hear is both fine. I think we'll just take the Murderous Cut for power level. This draft is going to be interesting. I'll say that much. That's another Raider Spoils. That's very scary. Alright. So, could take the Kieran if I want to stay white. Could take the Bloodfell Caves now that I've taken the Murderous Cut for splashing purposes. Summit Prowler and Force Away are both fine, as well as Leaping Master. I think I really need to choose what I'm doing here. I have a lot of removal as it is. Double Bathe in Fire, Cunning Strike, and the Murderous Cut. The problem is colors. And what am I doing? Now, this format is still very young, so I think people are still trying to suss out what's good and bad, or trying new things, but it doesn't mean I can't draft properly. It's so awkward taking a Bloodfell Caves when there are playable red and blue cards here. I'm going to go ahead and just take the Summit Prowler. Okay. This looks like an easy bring low. Although I could consider Scoured Barrens for some reason. Yeah, I think it's just an easy bring low here. Looking to get some 2 and 3 drops at this point. I really want to lower my curve, because I have so much top-end removal that if I can just play some early creatures, we should have a pretty easy time clearing their board for our creatures to get in. Looks like an easy Aerostorm here. I'm going to put the Murderous Cut in the sideboard for now. Okay, that is a... what? That's a 7th pick Tuskguard Captain? That card is so good. Jeez Louise. And that isn't Teamer. So if I'm not taking the Tuskguard Captain, I'm taking Summit Prowler. I do need playables, though, but man, that's kind of a sign. Alright, well, we'll see where this leads. Dismal Backwater? Okay, I could take the Dismal Backwater if I want to splash the Murderous Cut still. But I think Valley Dasher is going to be okay in this deck. Especially if I'm not going to run, or especially if I'm just going to be red-blue. Like, Valley Dashers are perfectly acceptable in the red-blue aggro deck. Bloodfire Mentor is not exactly what we want for an aggro deck, but it's certainly fine playable. Random fillers, lots of Rush of Battles going around. Kind of scary. We're going to end up having a white-black deck in our sideboard. Alright, so I'm going to need to pick up quite a few playables here in the next pack. I kind of waffled a little bit too much, but the nice thing is, if I am just going to be straight 2-color, I don't have to worry about fixing as much, which means I can prioritize taking the spells. Hopefully we open like a Sarkhan. You know what, now that I look at it, I only have 4 blue cards in this deck. Could very easily have gone into... yeah, I've screwed up this draft, I'm sure. I waffled too much, and then I settled on colors that I probably shouldn't have settled on. But let this be a lesson to you. I mean, I still think our deck is fine as is. This is not exactly the pack we wanted to open, but Scion of Glaciers is a perfectly good card. In fact, it's one of the better uncommons for blue. Passing a Wooded Foothills, which is worth some tickets. Charger's good, Guide's good, Bitter Revelation, Glacial Stalker, Savage Punch. Yeah, pretty happy to take the Scion. Hopefully we can get some more good cards here. There's a Bear's Companion. Singing Bell Strike, Trumpet Blast, Bloodfell Caves, Woolly Loxodon. I really need to prioritize these picks to make sure they're playables. And right now I have 9 creatures in my deck. I'm counting the Fierce Invocation as a creature since it's a manifest. 9 creatures. So I probably want to get at least 15 creatures in this type of deck and then just have the rest be removal or, cards like Crippling Chill. That being said, this pack isn't very good for us. Like, I could take Singing Bell Strike, but I think that's going to wheel. Instead, what I'm actually going to do is take the Bloodfell Caves here and still consider splashing this Murderous Cut. Still looking for playable red and blue cards. Okay, well, there's another Valley Dasher. There's also a Wetland Sandbar here. I need to take one of these over anything else. The best card here is probably Ruthless Ripper, not close. But I need critters, especially ones that can attack. Given what my deck looks like, I'm really tempted to take Valley Dasher over the Sandbar. But I think I'm going to diversify my threats, and again, this probably wheels anyways. Alright, here's a decent pack for us. Swiftspear, Bringlow, Canyon Lurkers, Scaldkin. It's a nice packet in general, just Armament Core is very, very high pick. Feet of Resistance, very, very high pick. Don't think we want to take Monastery Swiftspear. That's definitely more of a constructed card than a limited one that you want to be running. Although it is not terrible in our deck. I think here, though, we'll just take the Canyon Lurkers. We have a lot of ways to push through creatures. And, man, that's got 5 power. Yeah, if you just hit them. If hit them with a Canyon Lurkers 1 or 2 times, we're going to be feeling pretty good. Also to mention, it is a morph creature, so hopefully, turn 3 morph, turn 4 construct, just go GG. Plus, man, this card with Jeskai Runemark is a huge beating 7/4 flyer. Alright, we'll go ahead and take that. Still looking for more creatures here. Scaldkin and another Valley Dasher. Still passing. I mean, I've passed a few of these Tranquil Cove type fixing cards as well. And Dismal Backwater is another one that we could use to splash the Murderous Cut. But again, still just going to prioritize these creatures. We only need 4, maybe 5 more playables. And a lot of them have to be creatures. I want to keep my curve low. I'm going to go ahead and take Valley Dasher over Scaldkin, even though Scaldkin's a better card. Ooh, wow, that's a great pickup. Mistfire Weaver is very, very good. One of the best blue uncommons, along with Scion of Glaciers. What am I passing here? Actual nothing. I mean, Secret Plans is sweet, but yeah, Mistfire Weaver's very, very nice. Alright, Mystic of the Hidden Way too. Looks like we might be getting there. We're at 20 playable cards right now. The Murderous Cut's a little bit awkward of a splash, but I think we're doing it. Mystic's another great win condition, plus it's another morph for the construct curve. Bloodfire Expert now. Okay, yeah, easy pick. Another decent creature. Not much else to say. I mean, Tormenting Voice is decent. This is like the 4th Rugged Highland I've passed, but we're beyond splashing for green. Jeez, that's kind of scary. Awaken the Bear and Teamer Charger. How good is Swift Kick? I generally hate this card, but it could be okay in our deck. I could just take Teamer Charger as a random morph card for us. That's not terrible. I'm probably going to end up doing that over taking the Swift Kick. Even if I have no way to flip the Teamer Charger, it's still a fine, just 3-mana morph, dude. Bear's Companion. Surprised that wheeled. Not going to take the Blazebringer. Not going to play it, but oh well. Ooh, Disdainful Stroke. Okay. So we didn't wheel the other Valley Dasher. I'm a little bit surprised about that, but Disdainful Stroke's certainly fine. Swiftspear and Monastery, or Swiftspear and Skullkid on the wheel. Looks like we can cut the Murder's Cut now. Make our mana a little bit better. We can probably cut the Teamer Charger as well. Skullkin's the better card. You know what, I'm going to try the Swiftspear out, though, just because it seems sweet. Even though I think this is not the correct pick, I think Skullkin's better. I like trying a lot of new things in this format. In fact, I was streaming yesterday, and I had a deck that had 3 Aven Skirmishers. That's the 1-mana, 1/1 flyer, and 2 Molting Snakeskins. It was a pretty sweet black-white. Excuse me. It was a pretty sweet black-white Warriors list, and it 3-0'd. It was quite insane. Alright, well, this is certainly not the red-blue deck that I was looking for, but I think it actually turned out pretty decent for how much I waffled. I think that's one of my problems when a set comes out. I tend to be a little bit too wishy-washy when I should just be solidifying what I want to be in. The weird thing is, I've probably done 6 or 7 Fate Reforged drafts. That be Fate Reforged, Khans of Tarkir drafts. So the block draft, and I think 5 or 6 of the 6 or 7 times I've been 2-color, or 2-color splashing 1 or 2 cards. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily just trying to be 2-color, but it feels like I'm getting rewarded for going 2-color as opposed to forcing one of the clans. Granted, many of those times have been Black-White Warriors, which is one of my favorite decks. Alright, what's the dream curve? Turn 1 Swiftspear. Turn 2 Dasher. Turn 3... Turn 3 I probably want to be casting like a Bathe and Dragonfire, or the Runemark, I guess? Yeah, I mean, this deck can... If it comes out fast and swinging, it's going to be hard to beat, but if I stumble even a little bit, then... I don't know. It seems a little bit scary. Let's look how our creature spell breakdown looks. Oh, that's actually pretty sweet. I guess Fierce is a creature, technically, so let's go like that. Can't say I've had a better creature curve than this in a long time. Yeah, that looks good to me. The only creature, or the only card, really, that I'm not happy that I have in the deck right now is the Bloodfire Mentor, just because it doesn't attack. Alright, well, it can attack, but it doesn't have any power, you know what I mean? I think the only question here, since we can't really splash anything else, is do we want to splash Murder's Cut? And I think the answer is no. I do have some card draw, but I think we want to keep it 2-color, 17 land. And it says we want 9 red, 7 blue. That seems pretty accurate, I suppose. Yep, most of my cards coming down early are red. A lot of the blue cards are morph, or I just hold on to them like Disdainful Stroke. Looks good to me. This gives me 10 sources of red and 8 sources of blue. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys are excited to watch the very first Fate Reforged Khans of Tarkir draft. And we will see you back here for round 1.
Thank you for watching Drafting with Numot. If you haven't already subscribed to Gathering Magic, you can do so to receive news of upcoming videos and discover new content. You can also check out our playlist that contains every episode of Drafting with Numot. And don't forget, you can easily watch the next video by clicking on the annotation on screen or a direct link in the video's description box. And as always, thanks for watching.